see how it looks so far.
Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fallout 76, and today we have the patch notes for December 11. So this update was just released a couple of hours ago, at least the patch notes. So this is update 1.0.3.10, and this update is around 3 gigabytes for PC and about 5 gigabytes for console. So it's a little bit larger than the previous one on December the 4th, which was 36 megabytes for PC and 3 gigabytes for console. Obviously, the fact that console is a legacy hardware means that they're gonna have to do some optimization there. But anyway, today's update focuses on something that I really like about the game, which is camp building. So apparently, they're now gonna automatically remove rocks and small trees and debris from your camp area when you place stuff. They also added the highly requested special respecking for players above level 50, which was something that a lot of people were asking for. If you guys remember, once you place your special skills points at the beginning of the game, you're pretty much stuck with that throughout the whole game. And since the game is so heavily based on like this new card system where you place cards on different special skills, right? A lot of people were asking for the ability to respec your special like skills. So for instance, if I placed a lot of stuff on my intelligence, so I can place a lot of cards there, I may have to change that in the future as I get closer to level 50. Maybe I want to change that to strength or something like that. So just basic respecking, which is something that is normal in every RPG, right? But for some reason, we just didn't have this in the base game. So thank you, Bethesda, for actually adding this. They also added several new settings for PC, including push to talk. Heck yeah, boy. The 21:9 monitor support, so that's the widescreen support. Sliders for depth of field, and sliders for field of view, which was something that everyone was asking for, and they actually said that was not possible within this engine because somehow it was gonna mess with the animations. They finally did it, guys. They could do it. I knew you could do it, guys. Good job. So it's funny how a lot of us are actually excited about these like quality of life improvements. Like a lot of these things are just technical things that should have been in the game at release, right? So maybe the 21:9 monitor support, that's more of a niche type of thing. So I understand if that's not added, but push to talk in a game that is mainly social, dude, that should have been in there from the beginning. But let's try to move past it. You know, let's just move on with our lives, all right? They added it. It's here. We have push to talk. We have the depth of field slider and the field of view. We can finally put this to rest, all right? So they also added a ton of bugs. I mean, a ton of fixes for bugs. They added a ton of bugs. Well, that doesn't sound wrong actually, but they actually added a ton of fixes for bugs. And I do have to say that after the previous patch notes, they did increase the level of detail, which is something to be applauded. And I think we can all agree that the level of detail here is a direct response to the backlash from the previous patch notes, specifically the stealth nerfs. But I do feel like they got the message because this is very detailed. We even have kind of like a cool GIF right here. So that's really cool. It's showing how the new camp system is gonna work. It just basically automatically deletes things that are in the way. So that's awesome. But yeah, they do have a lot of bullet points here. They have the highlights for camp construction improvements. Small obstructions will now be automatically removed when you place objects on top of them, allowing you to more easily build when and where you want. Camp placement improvements. You will now be notified when you logged into a world and your current camp location is occupied by another player. We talked about this in a previous episode. If you stay in that world, You can place your camp back down for free. If you decide not to place your camp and join a new world where your space is unoccupied, it will be automatically placed in its original spot. Special respecking upon reaching level 51, and every level thereafter, you'll be able to choose whether you want to unlock a new perk card or reallocate one special point. Alright, so that's actually something cool because they give you an option here. So it's there's kind of like a trade-off there, so I like that. That's very cool right there. Alright, push to talk, they implemented it, that's cool. New PC settings, so they added field of view, depth of field sliders for further customization. That's great. And the 21:9 resolution support for widescreen. So that is freaking awesome. Thank you guys for solving these issues and adding some like a lot of these are technical issues and one or two like gameplay issues that were fixed. So that's awesome. Now, they go into a lot of detail of all the different changes that they have for this patch. And there's a lot of bug fixes and just balancing issues, arts and graphics and stuff like that. I'm gonna focus mainly on the camp, crafting, and workshop changes, right? Because that's what I care about the most. So in terms of the camp placement, we already know what happens there. Like, we already know the basic changes, and here's a change that I'm really happy about because I actually talked about this in a previous episode, which is called What Nobody Tells You About Camp Building or Base Building in Fallout 76. And in that video, I mentioned how there was no numeric feedback in regards to your camp budget, so you didn't know how much of your budget was being used by your blueprints or your stored items. So now they added a percentage so you can know precisely how much of your camp budget is being used, and that's freaking awesome right there. They also added a new feature, which is basically a new view in your build mode that allows you to sort between objects that can and cannot be built. And if you guys remember, one of my biggest complaints with the base building in this game was that the user interface in the building mode is definitely not ideal for PC players. So I'm definitely glad that they're taking note of that and trying to improve some things there. They also added more power to windmills, so they increased the power output from 3 to 12, so that's a significant increase right there. And finally, and this one's funny, players can now purchase atomic shop items directly from the workshop menu. So they basically made it easier for you to purchase things in-game, which is fine, whatever, that's fine. Now, in regards to the special respecking, so every time a player levels up after level 50, they can choose whether to unlock a perk card or transfer a previously allocated special point from a category to another, right? They do have a couple of caveats here. So the first one is this change is not retroactive for characters that have already progressed beyond level 50, but will apply to every level up they achieve going forward. So it's not as if you're gonna get it's not cumulative, right? If you're level, I don't know, 60, you're not gonna get 10 chances to change your special points, but you're gonna get one for every level up here on out, right? If a player chooses to reallocate a special point on leveling up, they will be unable to select a new perk card for that level and vice versa. So basically you have to choose one of the two. Respecking details have also been added to the perks section of the in-game help menu, so that's awesome. Then we have changes to quests. So these are basically just minor changes to XP and cooldowns here. Then we have the user interface changes. So these are all the quality of life improvements that we were expecting from the beginning. So push to talk, depth of field, field of view, and widescreen resolution support. And then we have some additional user interface updates. So AFK timer has been increased from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And you'll get a prompt warning you that you're gonna get disconnected. And they also added some minor user interface changes for the Atomic Shop. So this is basically the main bulk of the changes here. There's a lot of details in terms of bug fixes, like stability and performance, general arts and graphics changes, stuff like that. So I'm not gonna go through all of this. I'm gonna link this in the description down below if you guys want to read all of these changes. But even though I'm not gonna read them, I do feel like there's a lot of people who are very glad that they included this, because we do want them to be more detailed in the future. So congrats, good job, community managers. This is a good patch note. This is what patch notes should be like. And I really appreciate the effort. Thank you so much. Anyway, boys, I think that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.